Hi, welcome back to Talking About the Taboo with Natalie Malloy. I am, I just want to say that I am so proud of myself for staying consistent with this podcast. As you guys all know, this is my passion, and with passion comes a lot of self doubt and a lot of imposter syndrome, and a lot of just keeping myself steady and remembering this is something that I love to do and not something that I have to do. So, if any of you guys resonate with that, with any of your passions, and a passion sometimes can feel like a job, just remember that it is something that you want, not something that you need to do. I want to thank you all as well for helping build my self confidence out of my self doubt and joining me on this podcast on my journey. You guys have all made this so worth it. And I'm not talking to anybody if I'm not talking to you. And so, again, I want to preface also by saying please like, subscribe, and share this podcast out to get more viewers like you. I want like minded individuals. This is a podcast where curious minds run to, who are on a mission to learn everything there is to know about sex and relationships. And so, today we're going to dive into the emotional roller coaster of breakups and that transformative feeling that you get after a new beginning, because that's what breakups really are, is a new beginning. It's a new chapter. And we'll explore the pain, the healing, the growth that comes with, ending a relationship and stepping into a fresh chapter of your life. Whether you're in the midst of a breakup or looking for inspiration to start anew, this episode is packed with personal stories, expert advice. Obviously, we're going to read Reddit stories, y'all. You already know that. And we're also going to go into tips to help you navigate, that challenging yet empowering transition. So today I'm bringing on a guest, and her name is Lexi. Lexi works at a doggy daycare, and she gets to hang out with dogs all day. She braids hair on the side, and she enjoys outdoors, hiking, swimming, and basically everything that's outdoors. And my note that she said she wanted to share with you guys was that time will pass anyways, so you might as well make it a good use of your time. Duh. Yeah. So Lexi recently went through this transformative process. So we're going to kind of get a hold of what it was like, that roller coaster that she went on, and see if she has any advice for those who may be going through it or want to give a friend advice. So please grab a cup of tea or wine. Let's embark on this journey of heartbreak and hope together. Stay tuned. Mwah. Okay, so you stayed tuned. You want to know about breakups. Huh. Interesting. So sorry to hear that, but I'm happy you're here. Obviously, there's another beautiful woman on the screen. Hi, Lexi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm great. I just want to thank you so much for coming on this podcast, because I need people like you who are open and willing to talk about things like this. So thank you.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
So today, obviously, you guys know that we're going to dive deep into the idea of breakups and new beginnings and transformativeness that comes with it, and just kind of beginning a new chapter. And so, Lexi, can you just tell me about maybe how your recent breakup went? Like, really, what was the most significant breakup that you've gone through recently, and like what led to it?
I'd say the leading up to it was just kind of me realizing my self-worth and essentially knowing when enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't really necessarily put one specific pinpoint on why it happened. It was kind of like a bunch of things that led to another, and just collectively as a whole,
Mhm.
I realized that it would be better off without the relationship. Um, it was very transformative in terms of just learning a lot about myself and just taking the time to be by myself and figure out what I wanted and what I liked and all that stuff by myself. Um, but yeah, I would say it's definitely been one of the hardest times just because
Mhm.
we were together for so long. It was a
Mhm.
major part of my life for so long, and I
How
had
long?
to adjust. About 4 years.
4 years, yeah. Were
Yeah.
you friends were
I
you
had
friends before that or anything?
um a couple months before we started
Okay,
dating.
yeah.
Yeah, nothing like too crazy. It wasn't like a long-term friendship or
Right.
anything, but I really just had to kind of readjust to figuring out life without like a partner
Mhm.
essentially.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. I think the emotional reliance that we have on just, like, having somebody there to talk to, update our day on, and just always having somebody there, you become very codependent, which is really unhealthy, and even if there's, like, no romance there anymore, there's still that need of like, no, 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 like I can't leave yet because this, or I can't leave that yet because of this. And so I feel that, but your vibe towards it seems so relaxed. So tell me how long it's been since this breakup.
Um, about 8 months. Wait,
What?
uh,
Uh,
November it happened in March, so it's
yeah, it has
November
been 8 months
now.
because I started
Yeah,
my
so
job
8 months, yep.
in March. 8 months like flew by. I'm sorry. I'm not
No,
laughing
I
at you.
know.
I'm laughing at the time. You see,
The
guys,
time.
this you think that I mean, especially people who go through the breakups that are just like detrimental,
Mhm.
and just like they cannot live and they think that their life will not go on, and then time does go on. And like
It
your little
does.
quote that you said, like it does go on and might as well use it wisely. And you were gonna stay in a relationship that was not suiting you at all.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And there was definitely times where I went back and forth before I actually went through with breaking up with him in terms
mhm,
of, well, we've been together for 4 years, like, we've built so much, like, I would
mhm,
hate to have wasted that time, and I think
mhm.
one of the biggest turning points was I said that to somebody, and they responded with, "Well, if it's not working, you're just wasting more of your time. You're putting more years into something that isn't suiting you, it isn't benefiting you and
Yeah.
building you in the way that you need to," and I was just like, "Wow,
Ooh,
yeah."
yeah. Yep. And that idea of wasting time, if you think about it, rewire it, right? So a lot of times all of us can have that like euphoric recall is what I call it, is like thinking of like, oh, there's so many good things and oh my God, this is so great. And like hold on to that because it's true because you went through that relationship and it was not a waste of time. If you continued it, yes, but he taught you things, you taught him things,
Absolutely.
and you found out what you wanted and what you didn't want, and he still will always be a part of your story that you
Mhm.
that is being written for you. So, I think that's an amazing mindset. Like, I don't think you have any ill will. It doesn't sound like you have any ill will towards him. He didn't do anything
No.
wrong. So you just kind of separated, right? Like you just
We just kinda went our separate ways. We just basically had different goals and ideas for life. Basically, we just were walking down different paths, and I wanted to walk my own path and choose my own the way that I felt would benefit me better.
And so what is that initial conversation that you had, with him, if you don't mind me asking? Like, how did you, like, sit him down? Like, what happened, if you don't mind?
I feel like the initial conversation happened a couple times.
Mhm,
Um, it just kinda looked like me basically expressing how I felt in terms of just not necessarily feeling the same as I used to and just not really fully seeing it going where we had thought it was,
mhm,
and I just felt like I wanted different things and that I wasn't necessarily feeling super strong things anymore, so I it took me a while to kinda realize that this isn't necessarily what I wanted, and unfortunately, it took distance for me
mhm.
to really, really see what I did want because we lived together, and the presence of him just constantly being there, it was hard for me to really set aside my true feelings and just kind of actually understand what I wanted.
Yeah.
And it took him leaving and taking a job in a different state for me to fully just be like by myself and be okay by myself and not necessarily miss the person, but rather than like the
The
relationship and the
company.
companionship. And I was like, that's not right. That's not fair to him. Like
Mhm.
that can't work. Like that's not a true connection.
Exactly. And ironic as it is, I didn't even think about this, but my last episode was about long distance relationships.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so funny. And how like they could be really detrimental or they can be really beautiful. And
Absolutely.
sometimes you have a connection when they're here, and when they leave, it just doesn't stay. Whether you're with them for 4 years or you're with them for 2 months, distance does show. I literally talked about this, so funny. Distance does show you the real colors. It does. So it seems like you have a very, like I said, a very calm, very, cordial mindset about it. And so it seems like your mind has flown through the roller coaster. Can you explain to me those initial stages of the breakup and then kind of like what went through your mind? Like when it was officially over, like you dropped your phone, to my knowledge, he was out of the country or out of the state. So you obviously, it was kind of a conversation over the phone, like the actual ending stage of it.
Yes.
Um, what was that initial thought in your head?
I definitely felt a lot of guilt.
Mm,
Um, Breaking up with someone is never easy, but the fact
yeah.
that I had to do it over the phone and not really have that face-to-face conversation and sit down with him and, like, kind of explain everything like that, it definitely hurt. It hurt me to kind of have to do that to him, someone that I did have such a strong connection with and was such an important figure in my life. Like, it was I definitely felt very guilty for that, and I had to constantly remind myself that it's okay to choose myself just because it
Mhm.
ended in a way that I didn't necessarily want it to. Like,
Right.
I couldn't have waited the 10 months or whatever he was gonna be gone for to do it then, because at that point, I would have just been stringing him along,
Yep.
and it wouldn't have been fair. Um, and, after that just came a lot of just, like, self-deprecating thoughts, essentially, and it was not great. I felt all of the grief and
Yeah.
sadness and just I felt all of the emotions,
Yep.
honestly. Like
Yep.
some days I was like, this is great. I feel great. Like I can be who I want to be. I'm single. I'm in my young 20s. Like I can do
Right.
whatever I want. But then I was like, I had such a stable thing for so long. I kind of missed that. There was so many aspects of all of it. And there was definitely days where some days I'd wake up and I felt great, but then I'd go to bed and I was just like, man, this is really hard. But it was definitely a roller coaster of just emotions all the time,
Yeah.
and honestly, I just kept working and focusing on myself and, like,
Mhm.
working out and just taking it truly day by day, and even sometimes day by day was too much, and I had to just take it hour by hour
Yep.
and just keep pushing through and just focus on me and my dog and just
Mhm. Me too.
feel all of the feelings.
I love dogs. Dogs are everything,
They
especially just
are.
during anything sad. Like, they're so unconditionally lovable, and they love you so unconditionally. Like, "You chewed my shoe. I love you."
Like,
And
that's so
uh,
cool, thank you.
so much love. As you guys know, she works with dogs, so she gets to hang out with dogs all day, every day. So she definitely knows the unconditional love and
Absolutely.
annoyingness that dogs can really feel. So when you talked about that roller coaster and how like you went from this to, oh my god, I'm amazing, and then you're like, no, I'm horrible and I'm guilty of this. I want to start with the guilt idea, right? You have a big heart when you're guilty
Mhm.
for doing things that are meant to be, because
Yes.
they're
For you.
they're for you, but you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
And as you literally just posted today, you no longer feel the problems that I think, what was it? Like, you no longer feel the problems that other people feel towards you, or that what was it?
Here, I can actually just pull it
Yeah,
up. I
it was
think it was something about, like, not letting I no longer carry the weight of what I think someone feels.
boom, very much so. So
Yes.
he may have felt this way and he may have felt that way, and it is, and it's so be it. So you then
Mhm.
began to focus on yourself. And there's this thing that I want all the viewers to know, and you probably know what this is, but it's called DABDA. And DABDA stands for denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, and hope. This is the stages of grief that you go through in a breakup. So it doesn't stay linear, right? It's not denial, then anger, then
No.
bargaining, then depression, then acceptance, and hope. It is hope, denial, bargaining, anger, back to hope. Like, am I
Mhm.
right? Right? And
Absolutely.
so,
There's
yeah.
no set path.
It's like
Yes,
this.
yes.
So that is called DABDA. I don't know why I kind of made it up as that, but I thought it was like DABDA,
It
DABDA.
works.
I don't know.
Dub, dub, dub,
So
dub,
yeah.
dub.
But you said that you kept it day by day or hour by hour. And so in that time, did you have a support system, like friends and family that were there for you? And how did they help you through this?
Yes, I absolutely did. I actually built a stronger support system in this time,
Mhm.
because although I needed to get used to being alone, I didn't want to have to do it all completely alone, so I reached out to friends and my mom and even just my dog. He's not
Oh,
very
yeah.
emotionally supportive because he's a husky, but he
Shout out your
he did
dog
his
right now.
best.
What's his name?
Dimitri. Let me
Yeah.
let me find a picture of him. But
I'll definitely share it up if you can't see it on your phone. You can send it to me and I can pop it up on this video too.
okay, let's see.
We love dogs, guys. Like I
We
said,
do. We
the
do.
cuddling and the annoyingness and just the full
All of
force.
it.
And the fact that you
Um,
began working with dogs right around that time, it's like dogs are your soulmate. It's almost like,
yes, they
look
absolutely
at
are.
guys, look at the little cute face. Look at that. Yeah, so that's your
Now that we
doggy
got
wuggy.
distracted.
I know, right? That's just me.
Yeah, I just reached out, the best that I could, and sometimes I would just sit with it and just deal with it myself and see how that felt, but I would go out more, I would just kind of surround myself with people that just brought me joy, and I just, like, enjoyed all of their presence and
Mhm.
everything that they had to offer. Sometimes if I felt like staying in, I would force myself to go out just so I wouldn't have to sit with the sad feelings and sometimes, like, ignore it, while just trying to live, like, my best normal life. I
Mhm.
would say overall, I definitely reached out and built a better support system from
Yeah.
this, though.
Yeah. I think too, possibly you going out, did that introduce you to new people, new faces,
Absolutely.
new experiences?
Yes, it was definitely very fun, just a vibrant time of my life when I was going through such a hardship, and the best part was about meeting new people is that no one had to know, and I could just have fun and just do whatever I wanted, essentially.
Mhm. And I think too there the guilt goes on top of that. It's like I'm out here, having a good time and he's working and maybe he's sad, and I think that is what maybe sat in the back of your throat a little bit, like what you were talking about was like put those sad thoughts away. Um
Definitely.
But it's unbelievable that within the 8-month span, you were able to become a new you. You were able to get out of that such a horrible time with the support, but with the hard work of you. Like, I don't wanna say that it was everybody else. Obviously, we were your backbone, but you were the chicken on the bone, okay? Like,
Absolutely.
you had that confidence, you
Absolutely.
built it from the ground up. So the key steps that you took towards kind of like enhancing your self-confidence, like what else did you do besides like kind of going to the gym? Did you like start new hobbies or anything?
I definitely drowned myself in work for a little bit. At one
Yeah.
point, I had 3 jobs for
Yeah, oh my
about
god. I feel
2.5 months, and I was like, "Okay, this is too much." I got rid of the serving job,
yeah.
and I what else did I do? Um, I think I just hung out with people more and just
Mhm.
kinda retrained my brain to have more of, like, a social battery, to kinda become more extroverted, essentially.
Yeah.
I worked with my dog a lot more. I taught him, like, more tricks or just kinda worked his obedience. Um, I don't really think I necessarily picked up too many new hobbies. I just
Yeah.
kind of, like, remembered my hobbies and really just focused on them when I wasn't working. Um,
You were the new hobby.
I am the
self-care.
new hobby.
Yeah, self-care was a new hobby.
Absolutely.
You were so focused on trying to help this relationship that was just unfixable, right? I remember you coming to me with, these questions about whether it's about like your sex life or just like these emotions that you were feeling, and you were just so confused, and
Absolutely.
you were set on saving it when it sometimes like it's a rock and a hard place, right? It's like, he's cool, he's great, but I think he's not meant to be my soulmate. I think he's meant to be right here. Like,
Yeah,
love you from a distance, okay? You can sit at this table, but you can't sit at mine. Bye.
absolutely.
I'd love to hear that you had a good support system and you focused on you. Um, how did you kind of work through rebuilding your self-esteem though and your confidence? Like, what the hell went on there? What'd you do?
Yeah.
Honestly, be honest.
Um, I definitely hung out with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just kind of had some fun there. And
What are you getting at?
what do you think?
Are you talking about she guys? She's a beat around the busher. She's definitely talking about the fact that she finally got laid. Okay, guys? She finally got laid. And not to say that the sex makes you like the man was the person who helped her confidence. It was just the fact that she's like, oh, I got it like that. Am I right?
A little bit, yeah.
Now you're getting red. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, a little bit of that and just a lot of just sitting with myself and just talking to myself
Yeah.
the way that I talk to others.
Yeah.
Because I'm so quick to help other people, and I was always
Yeah.
putting myself on the back burner, and I was like, "Why?" I saw this quote one time, and it said, "Why are you so hesitant to give yourself the love that you are so willingly giving others?" And I was like,
Oh God.
"Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Chef's
yeah,
kiss.
yeah." And that kind of just put some things into perspective in terms of like, at the end of the day, you can have as many support as you can,
Mm-hmm.
but you're the only one falling asleep with you.
Yeah.
Like, you are inside your own head
Mm-hmm.
24/7. At the end of the day, you have to be there for you. Otherwise, do you truly have anyone? Like, you can have as many people surrounding you, but if you aren't there for yourself and you're not the person that can give that to yourself, like, nobody else can truly give it to you.
Exactly. And that like dives deeper into the idea of like if you don't love yourself, you can't love somebody else. And not necessarily, but like, you went out with these friends and you came home and it was just you and your dog,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes and you were like, oh shit, like I had fun for that 2 hours, but now I have to kind of like have fun with me too.
Yeah, it's
Um
definitely a reality slap in the face, but sometimes reality is needed.
yeah, absolutely. Did you go when you like were alone in your home, did you go through any like self like detrimental things? Like, did you start doing anything that was detrimental to you at all first? Or did you go straight to like, I'm better? Did you like start, I don't know, drinking more, or doing drugs, like, going through that hard.
Yeah. I would definitely say there would be some nights where I would just kinda drink alone and I'm just like, "Whatever," you know?
Yeah. Not
But
that
then it
that's horrible,
honestly,
but
yeah, it made
yeah,
me
you
feel
needed.
worse, so I was like, "This isn't needed."
Yeah, because then you were drunk
Um,
and alone.
yeah, and then I was like, "Wow, now I'm really alone with my
Yeah.
drunk thoughts."
Yeah.
Um, I'd say other than that, and maybe kind of isolating myself sometimes, there wasn't really anything like um, what was the word you used?
Detrimental.
Yeah, nothing like
Suffocating.
crazy like that.
Good.
But
We don't want self-destruction, but in some way, your thoughts were the
yeah,
self-destructing thing, maybe not physical actions, but
definitely.
yeah. So when you finally were coming to, you let the drinking kind of subside, you started to being okay with being on your own and by yourself. You started just focusing more on you and you kind of were like, all right, 3 jobs is it's too much. Like, I can't do all this. You kind of let that serving job go, which was really surprising to me because I'm like, oh, I can never do that. Like, good for you. In this time, were you listening to any like podcasts or reading any books or doing anything for you outside of just like, all right, I got to sit here and think about this?
Definitely. I was definitely listening to, a lot of podcasts. Um,
Do you have a recommendation? off the top of your head?
I really like Mel Robbins and Joe Dispenza. They're both on YouTube. I think also on Spotify as well, but I kind of prefer watching like the actual video.
Yeah, a lot of people do. That's why I started doing the video of it.
Absolutely. But there's just a lot of everything in both of those people that like they cover a lot of topics and a lot of just like self-help topics in terms of like finding yourself and creating the person that you want to be. And I listen to a lot of like motivational podcasts, even just to like continue going to the gym and just like making the change that you want to have the life that you want and all these things. I did a lot of journaling.
Oh,
I got this
okay.
one journal called Better Every Day. It's
Where'd you
the
get it?
brand. It's on online. I'm trying to think of the brand right now.
Don't stress it. I can link it down below later.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely send you that.
Yeah.
I have it sitting in the other corner. That's why I can't just like look at it.
You're okay.
But basically it was like, oh, it's Inside Then Out. That's the like the brand of it. And they have a couple different journals, but the one that I specifically was using was Better Every Day, and it's a 12-month long journal that has guided prompts every single day.
Cool.
And each month, not every single month, like some
Mhm.
months were grouped into like 3 months and it was like this specific category, like focused on something different. Like, and it started with like growth and then like self-reflection and then like reminiscing on the past and like hopeful for the future, like stuff
Wow.
like that, and just kind of like
Yeah.
working through all that stuff.
I like that.
And like the end of it is
Creative.
more so like what's it called? Like creating the life that you want essentially, and just positive affirmations and everything that you can pretty much think of. So I did a lot of that. I listened to a lot of music, just kind of
Music for the soul.
yeah, just
What's your
feeling
vibe?
music.
What's your kind of vibe?
I listen to a little bit of everything, but I feel like at the time and kind of like through the beginning of it, I was listening to like a lot of like Benson Boone and like Miles Smith, just kind of like the soul music.
Yeah, like Season of the Sticks and
Yes,
yeah.
for sure.
Your little Snapchat car jams. Love those.
Yes, miss
Love
them.
those. You should keep doing that. What'd you stop doing that for? Because I got some really good guys. She's got really good music taste, okay? And these like car jams I fucking loved because I would download the songs that I didn't already know. I would download them.
I'll start sending them just to you.
Yeah, please do.
I'll send you daily car jams.
Yes. Oh my God. And I'll be like, oop, download.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also deleted Snapchat for a little bit though, so like there was a time where I didn't have it and I wasn't on Snapchat at all. I am back on it.
What'd you do?
I deleted it for like 3 months just because it was honestly consuming my life, and I was like, I am checking Snapchat when I don't even have Snapchats, and it's just this never-ending cycle, and I'm like, I need to get off my phone and just be more present.
Yeah.
And I recently re-downloaded it. I'm not really sure why. I just kind of missed like sending pictures to people, like kind of seeing like people's faces that I don't get to see every day.
Yeah.
So I re-downloaded it and I added it to my hour limit screen time for Instagram, Facebook, and like TikTok. Like all 4 of those are in the hour, and I only have an hour per day to go on all 4 of those. And most of the time I don't reach it. But yeah, it was
how the hell do you do that?
I'm off my phone. I'm not trying to just stare at my screen, you know? I'm just trying to look at the world around me more.
Yeah, that is self-discipline. Oh my God. So wait, does your phone like lock you out of those apps after an hour?
Yes, it will give you a 5-minute warning, and it'll be like, you have 5 minutes left on your time screen limit. And then after that, you know when apps are kind of like updating and they get like the dark, like whatever, it does that. And if you try to click on it, it says you've reached your time limit. You have to actually enter your password to like go onto the app.
Oh my God.
But, yeah. Most of the time I'm scared to get that notification, so I just like I try not to go on it.
Wow. I spend a lot of time just because of my podcast and obviously like other reasons I wouldn't be able to do like an hour, but definitely I realize that my ADHD kicks in at work and I find myself scrolling in the middle of taking a note for a client and I'm like, okay, Natalie, like like this was unnecessary. But I spend a lot of time
Yes.
on the app just like editing stuff. But I love that you have such self-discipline to just get off of that distraction. Like good for you.
It feels a lot better, and honestly, at the beginning, I wasn't like that. When I tried doing that with Snapchat at first, and then I just be like, "Ah, just turn it off, just keep going," and then I was like, "Okay, this is a problem," and that's
Yeah.
when I deleted it, and I missed it for, like, 2 months or 2 weeks at first. I was like, "Oh my god, I need Snapchat." I was genuinely addicted to it, but it's the best thing, honestly, for me.
Yeah, and then that was a part of the new you, the part of the transformative of you. Like that was a part of the process of like letting go of the distractions and looking more, like you said, around like the world around you and just reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Um, so speaking of kind of new beginnings, I want to get into the idea of you getting ready to move on from that relationship and physically, mentally, and opening up to new possibilities, relationships, partners. Can you tell me like how you approach dating and relationships after your breakup?
Um, I'd say definitely cautiously.
Yeah.
I, there was a lot of, times in, like, past relationships that I've never really fully let the feelings resonate with from what happened from relationships, and I'd kind of just, like, go right on to the next, and then
Jump,
I would
jump,
take
jump.
all of the traumas from that other relationship and bring it into the new one, and then it just caused a bunch of issues, and I was like, "I can't do that to somebody else again,"
Yep.
out of the
I feel
fairness
you.
to them and just for me, like, I can't physically put somebody else through that, so I really just did a lot of just, like, the self-reflecting and just really figured out who I was and what I wanted. So then when I could meet someone else, I will be my true authentic self.
Yeah.
And I saw this quote this one time that really just kind of, like, put things into place for me essentially that was like, "You need to find yourself and love yourself before someone else can do that, because if you know what you want and how you should be treated and what like, how you want those things, that way you're not seeking it from somebody else, you're attracting it to you." And I was
Ooh.
just like,
Oh.
"Wow," because 'cause I've been seeking my entire life, and I stopped seeking, and I
Yeah.
just started attracting what I wanted,
For
how I
yourself.
wanted to be treated,
Yeah.
how I wanted to feel,
Mhm.
and it's just honestly, it just slid into my life like butter.
Literally. Ooh, I like that. It slid into my life like butter. It's like a little
Mhm.
lubricant. Confidence is a lubricant,
It
guys.
really is, it truly
Wow.
is.
Slid into your life like butter. I liked that. Maybe
Yeah.
that's gonna be the title.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. I'll have to like, I try to do clickbait with my titles, I try to like
Of
get people
course.
to like, like the come inside, it's fun inside episode, whatever. Um
Amazing.
but so yeah, so like you were able to kind of like dive into they're like, okay, I want to get with other people and I want to be in another relationship with other people, but I need to not do what I did again. And you wanted to learn from your pattern
Yeah.
and learn from your past relationships. So you don't have to tell me who, but are you in a new little thing right now? You got a little something going on?
I'd say I have a little talking fling, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. And how is this making you feel? Are you learning anything new about yourself at all in this little fling?
Definitely. Um, I'm learning to just really be patient with my
Yeah.
reactions. Um,
Okay. I like
just,
that.
like, emotional reactions and everything, like, it doesn't you can react and just have a neutral reaction to things without it causing an issue.
Yeah.
Um, I'd say I have the ability to think about things a lot deeper and more complex than I may have originally thought. Um,
I'm loving all these answers.
yeah. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything like truly else just like that like really stands
Yeah.
out.
I can kind of help you out with this answer too, just from my perspective. So for you guys' information, Lexi is my friend. I met her in college. I met her when I was with a horrible ex. So LOL, not us in the elevator looking at the girl that he literally cheated on me with. Yeah, okay, anyways. But I have just seen her transform into such a confident, flamboyant, successful woman. And I just want to like say that I think that this new fling has given you the comfortability to feel calm, to feel relaxed, to feel tranquil, and not having to focus on such like, how do I fix this? You don't have to fix anything anymore. And you're able to look at you. And I have seen such growth. You braided hair on the side and the traveling, right? So you guys, she just got to go to fucking Disney to braid hair. Tell me about how that went.
It was awesome. It wasn't like I wasn't working through Disney.
Right. It was,
Um,
yeah.
we my boss basically set it up and like posted in like so we went down for the Disney runs. They do a couple runs a couple times each year. This one was the Wine and Dine run, and it's basically a series of 3 runs on different days. It was a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon, and we essentially went around to different, resorts and braided people's hair, like, in their hotel rooms and just, like, got them ready for the run and everything. Like, most people kinda just had, like, the tight Dutch braids with color. Some of them went a little more out and had, like, super fancy, longer braids, but, yeah, it was super cool. I met so many people, and honestly, it inspired me to want to do, like, a 5K.
Yes, like you were
It
getting in
was
more into running, like, you
yeah,
see,
my body just
this
doesn't agree with it,
I hate it.
so
I don't
I
like it either,
can't.
but I see you doing it, but I could
I'm
see you
trying. I could
trying.
yeah, totally, for sure.
You have the motivation to do it. You have the support systems too, like rooting for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just you guys don't see Lexi how I see Lexi, but she's just super confident and has built something so beautiful for herself through this breakup. And without this breakup, like I really think this brought you to who you're supposed to be.
I
Because
agree.
it was under there. It was under that layer, and I think we all saw it, and including your mom. I know your mom's like a really good support for you, and seeing her being there for you when we were out at Santora's too, and just like being such like she's just so young minded and hippy dippy, and
Yes.
yeah, and I love it.
Free
So
spirit.
yes, and then you know what? I'm catching a little bit of that free spiritedness from you because you're very very spiritual. I'm gonna journal. Not everybody could do what you did. They would just sit and wallow in their self-pity. So
Yeah.
I commend you for the transformative process that you're going through. Um,
I think you just get to a certain point in your life, I hope everyone does eventually, where you just get sick of everything and you're like, "I need to make a change
mhm.
to move on from all of this and become something completely different because I just don't wanna wake up like this every day. I don't wanna look like this. I don't wanna feel like this," and
Mhm.
something just in my brain just clicked, and I was like,
Tick.
"I need to
Yeah.
make all of the changes
Right.
to
Right.
feel the best that I can."
So I love all of the like the emotions and then the spiritual, but we know this is a sex podcast. So
Oh god.
I need you to tell me 3 things that you learned about yourself sexually as you were more awakened after the breakup. What do you think?
Um, let's see.
You said, "Oh God."
Yeah, I did. Um, it can be very, very fun
Mhm.
and not expect, like, really anything in return, essentially.
Okay. Okay. 1.
Um,
Put her on the spot here, guys. I love it.
yes, yes, you did.
Any new
Um,
sex toys?
not yet,
Okay.
but ideas of them.
Okay.
So, kind
Good.
of floating around, kinda trying new things, open I guess an openness
Okay.
to wanting to try different things.
Okay. Very nice.
Um, thirdly,
Any positions that you liked to do now that you didn't like to do before?
Okay, yeah, there's definitely been some, like, exploration there,
Okay.
and there's definitely some new ones that I'm just like, "Wow, okay."
Yeah. See, I love it. That was easy. You got it. So you're just feeling
Just a
more
little guided.
open. You're yeah, a little guided help.
Fun.
You're open to new ideas and you're open to new positions and you're gonna slide into whoever's life like butter.
Absolutely, or they're gonna slide into mine like butter.
Yes, guys, please use lube. You have to, or it's gonna hurt, and you're gonna have rips and tears. And you can even still have rips and tears with lube if you don't use enough. But just please use the fucking lube, and do not use a stick of butter. This is not me telling you guys to use butter as lube. Oh my god, people will take that the wrong way. I had this one girl.
It works just fine.
Yes, but if you just ate, be careful with that because of bacteria. But it spit dries out. But anyways, I had this girl come on here that talked about the fact that she was doing OnlyFans and she used cake and rubbed cake and it was a whole thing. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I love you. And I think that is so magical and I'm not judging, but I'm like, girl, the UTI and the yeast infection. I have too sensitive of a pusa, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. Anyways, okay. So, everybody who's watching, we do Reddit stories around here because it really helps the conversation aflow. One of the Reddit stories that I found kind of, talked about the idea of not getting into a relationship right off the bat. And it says, remember to HALT, HALT. I have no clue where I've learned this from, but I'm on day 8 of a breakup, and the HALT principle has stopped me from making horrible decisions countless times already. It goes like this. Do not make any major decisions if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired.
Absolutely.
It's so funny. She's like, lately, I've been all four at once. Hope this helps. I thought that was... Hey, oh my God. Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. So I thought that was really important. Be mindful of when you're deciding to move on. Are you doing this in the right manner? Are you just trying to like hook up and move on? Like, are you, doing it for the right reasons? Is it a drunken thing that you're going to be guilty for the next day? And it seems like you really took that into an account. And so I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to give you a choice of 2 Reddit stories.
Okay.
It goes, my breakup story and how I lost my personality after everything that happened. I'm meeting someone new tomorrow. You have to choose 2 out of 3. And breakups don't break you, they build you.
Definitely breakups don't build you or break you, they build you.
Okay.
And I guess we can do the first one, the personality one.
Okay. All right. So we'll do the personality one first. It is a lengthier one, so stay with me. We got this. All right. So it says my breakup story and how I lost my personality after everything that happened. First of all, I want to thank everyone who takes the time to read this. Honestly, since she left, I've been alone. The few friends I have either lived with in my city are always busy with work or just don't want to talk to me about this anymore because they're tired of hearing me repeat the same things. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you in advance. This year has been brutal, not only because the person I love the most, the one I would give everything for, left me, but because of the timing and the way it all happened. For context, we had been together for 4 years. We started dating when COVID hit in mid-2019 and broke up in February 2024. I know some of you might be tired of hearing this, but during this time, I generally felt like she loved me deeply. She felt like more than family, like fate had brought us together to face life's challenges side by side, and we never would leave each other's side. Those 4 years felt perfect. She was in 4 years. Ooh. She was interested in my hobbies, didn't like partying, which I also disliked, and we quickly became not just lovers, but most importantly, best friends. We did everything together because we felt like it made every experience 100 times better than it would have been with anyone else. Fast forward to October 2023, and everything changed. My father passed away that month at a very young age of 47. It was a tragedy I never expected to face. At just 22, at that point, she tried to support me to distract me, but honestly, she wasn't great at it. I don't blame her. No one is prepared for something like that, but she started acting differently. The fairy tale had been shattered. She became more, erratic, and instead of helping me cope, we started arguing about small things or insecurities she'd never had before. Oh. At one point, she even told me she felt neglected because after my father passed, I spent too much time with my family instead of being with her. Ooh. Whoa. Months later, in February 2024, things reached a breaking point. I couldn't ignore it anymore, and I ended things. She had become overly needy and didn't seem to care about what I was going through. She would argue with me over the dumbest things, like the fact that I had a dream about going on an adventure with Kim Possible. Seriously? LOL.
Okay.
Okay, so I was trying to sing the song. It was just an innocent Indiana Jones style jungle adventure, but she got jealous of a fictional character in a dream where nothing inappropriate even happened. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh no. That girl needs to do some self-reflecting.
For real, like it was deeper than that. How much you want to bet for her?
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, I broke up with her. I'm not over it. Anyway, I broke up with her in a calm and mature way. I told her I needed time alone to clear my head, meet new people, and figure out if I really missed and loved her. Spoiler alert, I did. Ooh. I started chatting with new people, and one of them was a girl. It wasn't flirty. I just needed a breath of fresh air to see where my life was headed. Well, she logged into my Instagram account and read all my conversations with my new friends, which made her upset. She got jealous of me talking to a new girl, even though, as I mentioned, I had no romantic intentions with her. Ooh, why is she logging into your account?
Red flag.
Red flag.
7.
Oh,
7 red flags.
Oh yeah, my God, Natalie. Natalie Jane, guys. A couple of weeks later, I reached out to her. I missed her so much, and when my father was alive, he had given me a mission to spread his ashes in a place he loved in the forest. The day came for me to fulfill his last wish, and all I could think about was her. But she had rejected me a week before, telling me that if I didn't value her enough to stay with her, then I didn't deserve to have her in my life again. At this time, it seemed so fair. So the second time around, I was fortunate enough that she agreed to give me another shot, but only on the condition that I had to win her back. And I did. But when the time came for us to meet up again, I got hit with, I need to tell you something. The news destroyed me. A week after we broke up, she admitted that she had snooped through my Instagram account and filled with anger and jealousy, she met up with the guy and kissed him. She insisted that all that happened. What? I was crushed. I knew the guy and didn't like him one bit. He'd always acted like a vulture during our relationship. So she knew that too. So not only did I try to win her back without knowing she had been hanging out with this guy, but she made me beg her to come back when it was her who had failed and abandoned me the worst time of my life. After that, we went through months of back and forth. She used that time to make me beg for her again, disrespect me, and so on. Eventually, I stopped talking to her after she demanded that I unfollow all my female friends because she was insecure. Okay, this is getting to the point where she's just straight up
crazy.
Yeah, I agreed, but with
Who said that?
Right. I agreed, but with one condition, she had to unfollow the guy she hung out with. She refused, saying she didn't want him to think she was holding a grudge. Plot twist, the guy ghosted her, and that's the only reason she agreed to come back to me months before. That was 2 months ago, and I still can't seem to get over it. What hurts the most is that I feel like I've lost myself. I don't know who I am anymore. This is maybe ditto on your part. Everything that was mine, I shared with her. Video games, sports, movies, music. I can't even enjoy those things now because I have made them ours. I met a great girl about a month ago, but I had to stop seeing her because I realized I was just filling the void of my ex. But the hardest part is that she never reached out to apologize. The thought the person I believed to be my soulmate, the one who loved me more than anyone I've ever known, abandoned me and didn't even have the decency to say sorry when I was desperately reaching out for help. That hurts, and probably she never will. I feel so alone. She was my best friend. Not only did she fail me as a lover, but as a person too. I neglected other friendships to spend more time with her, and now I'm alone. I started going to the gym, focusing on myself, trying to get better, but that's the harsh reality. I don't know what I am anymore. I don't know what to do because I just don't enjoy anything anymore. I've lost everything that used to bring me joy. Anyway, thanks again to everyone who read this. I just created my account today. I usually visit Reddit, but never bothered me to make an account until now. Sorry if my grammar sucked. Oh,
damn.
That was sad.
I hope he found himself.
That was a really long one, but like really sad. You know what I mean? Oh.
Definitely. How long ago was that?
Let's see, 8 days ago.
Oh no.
It was 8 days ago. Oh, you better shush up. You better go.
She said, "Oh my God, 8 days."
I know. So 8 days ago. Oh my God. Poor guy. Oh, I wish I could send this podcast to him. So anything that you can
I hope he
recommend?
finds it. That
Yeah.
it does get better, and you will find yourself. If you're putting the work in, you'll find it.
He also was going through losing his
So much.
father. I see that a lot. I see that a lot. People go through a death and then they're kind of like very selfish and like for their partner, and they literally fucking make their partner feel bad for not having like not acting the same or like losing their personality per se because they lost their father. Like, do you expect them to just bounce back?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole part of your personality. Like,
Sickness and in health. What the fuck? I mean, I think sickness and health isn't just for marriage, but sickness and in health, death, the family, all of the fucking above. God. So it says
it's so hard.
he had such, this is the type of breakup where you have to really, really feel the emotions and sit down and process it. And she could be really emotionally manipulative and she just wants the attention. And if for one fucking second you don't give her the attention, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay. So then we have breakups don't break you, they build you. This is a really short one.
Okay.
But it's a really good one to hold on to. Let's get real. Breakups hurt. They rip through your soul, make you question everything, and leave you raw. But here's the thing. They're also a turning point, a chance to rewrite your story. That pain you feel, it's proof that you cared. That emptiness, it's a blank slate, waiting for you to fill it with something new. Maybe you think you'll never love again, or that this was your fault. Maybe you're blaming yourself, drowning in the what ifs. Stop, breathe, and know this. The person you lost wasn't your whole life. They were a chapter. And now you get to write the new one. You're allowed to grieve, to feel broken, and even to rage at the universe. But don't let this define you. Let it refine you.
Mm.
Woo!
Yes.
Wee! That was a good one. I'm so glad you chose that one.
There was something you said in there that made me think of a quote I saw yesterday. And it was this thing that said things that can be equally true.
Mhm.
And it said, you can be happy, hurting, and healing. And like that was just it just resonated with me because it's so true because you can be dealing with all those things and you can
Mhm.
still be rebuilding yourself at the same time.
Yep. And you may find yourself feeling like, okay, how am I feeling today? What's my grief like today? Okay, what am I going to wake up today? Okay, probably everything, but I'm going to be okay, and you're going to make it through.
Yes.
And you are still making it through. I know you're only 8 months after, but it seems, in my perspective, correct me if I'm wrong, you have finally gotten to your new beginning.
Absolutely.
And that page has finally turned, and the hurt has turned into that redefining, and it's refining yourself. And that's amazing.
Absolutely.
So I just want to thank you so much for coming on and talking about your heartbreak, even getting into the nitty-gritty a little bit. I know you didn't want to open up fully. You needed some guided self-discovery. Before I let you go, though, I know you're a quotes person. What is one piece of advice you can give to somebody going through a breakup that can maybe help them push through?
That even if it feels like no one is there for you, as long as you are alive and breathing, someone is there for you because you will always have yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That can be hard. That can be a hard pill to swallow for sure because it's easier to help others than help yourself. But if you really just focus in and tune in to who you are, you will always have someone to help you.
I love that you're never alone, and you are your new hobby, like I said.
Absolutely.
And yeah, okay. Well, I wish you the best of luck in your journey in the future and your new little fling. I hope that goes really well, and stay focused on you and stay patient. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Woo, we gotta decompress. I'm gonna take a sip of wine, okay? Gulp. That was an amazing episode. And breakups can be really hard to talk about and kind of like relive. This specific breakup was obviously something more of a more calm breakup. Some can be detrimental. It could be a domestic violence situation. It could be it was just an angry relationship and it doesn't end as calmly or safely. But her and I got to having a conversation after that recording, and we had discussed something about the timing of getting into a new relationship after getting out of one. She did say how, she wants to use that idea of halt, right? And making sure you're not making any rash decisions. But she was so focused on like it's too soon or what people are going to think. And she realized that it was no longer her problem and she was allowed to have the fling. She was allowed to have people that she talked to. She was allowed to have these thoughts and feelings towards other people without being guilty about it and not even worrying about the time anymore. So that is something that we really, really talked about. And I really wanted to reiterate to you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for staying on this episode. And if you did like this episode and if you want to hear more, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast out. And please turn on that notification bell so you're able to hear more about episodes regarding similar topics to this. Remember, this is a sex and relationship podcast. Curious minds run here. They want to know more about sex and relationships, anything educationary. And I just can't thank you guys enough for staying tuned with me mostly every week and just sitting with me as I learn and discover my own new journey and my own self and sliding into my new self like butter, as Lexi said. I love you all, and with lots and lots and lots of lube, remember, Clit-Municate. Mwah.